Hi guys, I'm Eric. I'm the founder of Boardgains, and welcome to the S.M.E stories.
You are now listening to the next great small business podcast. Welcome to the S.M.E Stories podcast, where it is all about small businesses in Canada. And here's your host, Ken Alfred.
Eric Mathura from Boardgains. Tell us your story. Lots of listeners are looking forward to hearing, so let's hear it.
All right, everyone. I'm Eric. I'm the founder of Boardgains, and Boardgains is the world's first fitness board game. So it's all body weight exercises. You don't need any equipment, and I created it teaching my bootcamp classes. So that's how it all started. It all started with me teaching classes, and this was like back in 2016. So 2016, I was teaching classes. I wanted to gamify it, make it fun. I watch a lot of Survivor, and I love the challenges in Survivor. So I used that as inspiration to start making fitness challenges in my class. So it started off with like fitness cards. So break off the teams, the group into two teams, and we would have fitness cards and do a competition like that. And then I ran an event, and it was called Board Games Boot Camp. So I took 4 different board games, added a fitness twist to each of them, and then we ran a boot camp that way. So we had about like 20 people, split everyone into 4 groups of 5, and we ran into like probably 15 minutes each station. So we had fitness, Jenga. We had the original board games on a whiteboard. We had fitness roulette and fitness blackjack, and then fitness connect 4 as well. So we did that event, and it went well. And then every now and then I would have this whiteboard, and I was like, okay, let me just use this whiteboard every now and then for my bootcamp classes. And then I realized like it was getting a lot of engagement. People were liking the whiteboard. So I was like, okay, maybe I'm onto something here. So I took that whiteboard, and then I converted it into a poster. So I made it on, I got it made on like Photoshop, made it look all nice, got it printed on Vistaprint, and printed up the cards. And then we had a nice little poster version of the game. And then I ran another event, and then this was September 2018. So it's called, so the name was like Fitness Monopoly. Then I had it Fitopoly. So that was the second name, Fitopoly, with the poster. Ran the poster event, and then people were loving the game. Everyone enjoyed it. And then I had the winner of the game was my friend Lala. And then she was like, yo, Eric, where'd you buy this game? And I was like, Lala, I didn't buy this game. I made it. And then she was like, yo, Eric, make this into an actual game that people can buy because I want to buy it. And I was like, yeah, I should. So then 2018, 2019, I started doing like board game research, started developing the rules, an exercise guide for all the exercises, and started like fine-tuning the game basically. I found this website, boardgamemaker.com, got the first demo made, and then I changed the name from Fitopoly to Pump It Out because I got some lawyer advice. They told me not to use the opoly because you might get in trouble down the road. So I was like, okay, let me scrap Fitopoly, and then I had a placeholder name, Pump It Out. So the name was Pump It Out, and that was the
Pump It Out.
Yeah, that was the placeholder name. And then I kept playtesting the board game. So now I have like the actual first demo of the board game, Pump It Out. And I was playtesting it with people like in the gym, kids outdoors. And then I had this kid playing the game, and he took a Snapchat, and he was like, Boardgains. And as soon as I heard that, I was like, yo, that's the name right there. That's the name. When he took that Snapchat, he said Boardgains, and I was like,
Boardgains.
I was like, yo, that's it. Boom, done. So then,
Yeah, because when I first hear Pump It Out, I'm thinking gas.
Yeah.
Or inflating some type of inflatable, right? So Pump It Out. I'm like, oh, okay. Or like you said, it could be like you know, fitness classes, and they're saying, okay, pump it out, and the instructor is kind of like boot camping and stuff like that. So it's interesting how you did that. And you said you went to the site that was this boardgamemaker.com.
Yeah.
So what did they do? Like
so
they actually did they give you like ideas or
no? They're like so say you want to develop a board game, you go on that website, and then they have all the dice, the boards, the boxes, and you just have to upload the artwork.
Oh, so like the materials that you would need to develop your own board game. Wow.
So
okay.
Google search. I found that for the Google search.
Yeah.
Google's your best friend.
We'll dive a little bit deeper into that from the tips from the pro segment specifically on that. So you started this whole thing, and it's a really great thing. So for those who've not, definitely go to Boardgains, like the website, and we'll have it all in the show notes. If you actually take a look, like there's a huge they show, there's some pictures on his website where they show the early stages. So I saw the
Yeah,
whiteboard, and then I saw the little poster thing. And because you did what most instructors would do, is that, okay, we'll start with a whiteboard, okay, then we'll do some Photoshop
yeah.
thing,
Make it a
just
little more
not really
presentable.
thinking about it, because that's what. And so Eric and I actually met at the CanFit Pro Fitness Trade Show back in about August or so, and I just saw this thing, and it was like, wow, this is a really interesting, because I, like my listeners know, I used to be a personal trainer back in the day. So, I'm always I love going to these type of trade shows. And when I saw Eric's product of Boardgains, it just piqued my interest. I'm like, what is this? And, this is not a sponsored episode, but I ended up buying the actual edition from it and I'll tell you a little story, Eric. I took that to our cottage that we went to
Oh,
with some
perfect.
friends,
Yeah, they probably love
and
it.
all the kids started playing it. And I was like, I didn't tell them, okay, guys, because I know you guys are going to eat like crap during this cottage trip. You must do 4 laps of Boardgains or anything. They just took it. It was they didn't even ask what the exercises were. They saw the names on it, was very clear that they were like doing burpees, they're doing inchworms, they were doing all this stuff. Although they were trash talking each other because they're saying, hey, your butt's too high. Oh, your butt's too low when you're doing your plank. But it was just it's such a unique thing. And I'm wearing like an actual exercise shirt, because normally I wear like a collared shirt for these episodes. But yeah, it's a really cool product. I bought the bigger version
The
because
Pro
I looked at the
Edition.
home version, which is great, but I was like, I gotta do the Pro Edition because I gotta do more exercises.
Yeah, you're a personal trainer. You're a former personal trainer, so you know exactly how to run the game.
And it is so fun doing it. Although my wife was yelling at me one time when I was doing like the shoulder taps, which is, you're in a plank position, you're
Yeah,
tapping
yeah.
your shoulders, and she's like, how come you're going so slow? And I just finished showering and I had like lotion on my hands, so I had to do it very slowly that I didn't slip and smash my face on the floor. I said, that's why I'm going slow. But
Slow and steady. You got to do everything slow. Some people will race through it.
Well, yeah, I mean, especially the harder stuff. They'll
Yeah,
do like
yeah.
half squats on an air squat, or they'll do like a half burpee where they don't put their chest all the way down. But
Yeah,
hey,
yeah.
we're not gonna talk about fitness too
There's the
much on this,
modifications.
because I know yes, that's why I like the modification guide there, and your book does have all the exercise guides, so and if for those who don't want to read the book, there's like QR codes that you can scan it and take a look at the actual exercise being demonstrated, which is really great as well. So we'll talk about some fitness
Yeah,
stuff
yeah.
a little bit later, because I know that's my listeners are like, okay, great, fitness. We want to know the story, what the phases of what Eric went through. So what kind of plans do you have to expand right now, Eric? So you started off with this game right now. Are you developing any new products, or is there stuff that you're currently in development, or are you just going all in and just really trying to market? And what's your plan for that?
Basically, I'm going all in right now. We started with this one, the Pro Edition, and then we developed the smaller one. So this one just came out probably like 9 months ago, the Home Edition. So I needed something smaller, something for people if they want to play at home, and this is more updated too. So it's a little bit easier for parents to use that don't have any fitness background. So I just need something a little bit easier for some parents to use. So that's why we came with the Home Edition. And yeah, right now we are just slowly still building it, basically. I don't want to come out with too many editions. Start off with the hero products, and then eventually we're gonna branch out into I'm gonna do the next one I'm planning is shadow boxing.
Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah, because that's like really popular too, and it's body weight.
Yeah,
and then a lot of kids, a lot of schools in the States, self-defense is like a new thing that they're pushing, mandatory self-defense.
Wow. So it looks like you are slowly developing it, but at least you're not rushing it all out just to get it out the door, right? Just because once you found success with Boardgains, specifically like the Pro Edition and the Home Edition, I think we'll touch upon this later from Tips from the Pro, is that, it might be the entrepreneur, especially the owner like yourself, who's starting to see a lot of success on this, is to push product right out the door right away without it really getting all the details. Because you have like a perfect, almost like a blueprint in terms of, okay, I want the game to be structured like this. I know the pieces that I need. I know all this sort of stuff. But to actually think about, okay, now what specific exercises or drills or can we utilize on these variations, which is great. So, well, that's great that you're looking at that. So,
and then what they say is it takes about 5 years to develop a board game.
Really?
That's what, like, from board game makers, from like all different types of board games, like card games, regular board games, sitting at home board games. It takes about like 5 years of development to like take out all the kinks and all that.
Yeah, especially you had a very unique one, right? Because for some of the average user that plays a regular board game, non-fitness related, right?
Yeah.
It's just more product based and just making sure the instructions are very clear. Now, what's unique about yours is that yours had to be very careful because you know what? It is exercise, right? And you have to be careful because Eric and myself, we cannot be there watching you guys do your exercises to make sure you're doing it safely and that you don't hurt yourself, right? So I believe that was potentially one of the challenges of like, how do we conceptualize this so it's safe? And I think that's why you said the home edition, specific for people with, for new parents, or maybe people with limited fitness experience, on how to do it, right?
Yeah, exactly. And that's why some of the exercises is all like with that in mind. I'm like, I don't want to hurt anybody, so that's why it's like, okay, nothing's gonna be like crazy. No, there's no jumping exercises like squat jumps or like lunge jumps. I don't want to do any of that just in case people are like have knee issues or anything like that.
Don't sell yourself short. Eric Eric just told me he's coming up with the Olympic lifting version of Boardgains, where you need to have the hundreds of pounds to do the clean and jerk and all those other ones. So that's a thing that'll be coming out.
Those are the superset cards I'm coming out with. So that one's right now. I'm setting that up, but it's not gonna be a product. It's gonna be like a downloadable thing on the website.
Oh,
and it's just like a superset to superset the game if you have equipment at home. So you roll the dice, move your game piece, complete the exercise you land on, and then complete the superset.
Oh,
so it could be like kettlebell swings, kettlebell clean and press,
and
thrusters if you have dumbbells.
And I'm assuming you're going to clarify with the user ahead of time to say which piece of equipment you actually do have, right? Because you've seen some of those, like I've seen some of those, like whether it's workouts on YouTube or anything like that, where they'll say, "Oh yeah, you can customize to what you have," but a lot of it is for stuff you don't actually have. They say, "Yeah, it's just all you need is kettlebells." I'm like, "Well, we don't have kettlebells. Dumbbells are the same thing. Maybe they can be a little bit."
Yeah, this one will be like it's going to be kettlebell swings. If you don't have kettlebell swings, then you can do the next card. And the next card is like hill sprints. So superset with hill sprints, go outside, or superset with like the track and field, one lap around the track and field.
Well, the funny thing is, listeners, I was actually joking, but I didn't realize that Eric actually did have those plans in mind. So I'm like, wow, I was just making a joke, and he's already talked about potentially supersetting cards. I was like, I'm going to have to probably get that
those
too.
Are coming soon. Those are coming soon. Yeah, those are coming soon. Those are going to be like, that's something easy. I started making, it's like it's based off like Pokemon cards. The look is going to look like a Pokemon card, and it's going to have like the exercise, and then it'll have like all the instructions too.
Wow. So I guess we talked about, back to this part here. So we talked about your expansion. Like you said, you've already developed some, you're R&Ding some potential product lines that are going to go with, that's going to be a complement to Boardgains, which is great.
Yeah, complement to the game.
Complement to the game. And so what about, like, so you said that's for going to be the next few years that you're looking at here. So that's really good. So, but now thinking about it though, so you got the board gamers listening up here. It's like, okay, well, did it cost a lot to start this whole thing? Like, what's been your biggest expense starting Boardgains?
So starting Boardgains was the actual product cost, like getting the games made, getting the games shipped from China to the warehouses, warehouse costs. So what I did in the beginning was, because of COVID, like all the gyms closed down, so I lost my job at the gym. This is 2020. So I took all my time invested to finish off Boardgains and to launch a Kickstarter. So 2020, I started like listening to a whole bunch of podcasts about Kickstarter. So Kickstarter is like a crowdfunding campaign. So if you have any idea, you can launch it on Kickstarter, get people to pay for the product that it's not made yet, but it's the idea. They're paying for the idea, and then once you make it, you ship it to them. So I did a Kickstarter, and I got it funded. So that's what originally started off the game, was the Kickstarter. Got the Kickstarter, got it funded, and then because the game was on Kickstarter, I have all these board game manufacturers messaging me for my business, basically. So I started not interviewing them, but getting demos from all these manufacturers to see like which quality is the best one, which one is like easier to like communicate with, which like just to make the game exactly how I wanted it.
So it's almost like they were almost helping you develop the actual game itself, right? So it wasn't that you had all the details figured out, but by talking to some of these suppliers, they kind of offered you, obviously they wanted your business, but they were also trying to value add what they can bring to the table to help you really to visibly see what the end product is going to look like from what it sounds.
Well, I had the end product in mind, so I had to make sure like these manufacturers can make it exactly how I wanted it.
Ah, okay.
Because I was like, yo, you have to make the board actual dry erase. I don't want to like have this board, it's not dry erase. I want,
Otherwise you're using sticky notes.
It has to be dry erase. Because I had one manufacturer, they sent me the game, like the big one, but it was instead of a 4-fold, like how it's folded into 4 ways, it was folded in 8 ways.
Ooh.
And I was like, yo, this is too much. It was like 8. And I was like, yo, every time someone's going to open it, so it's going to start ripping and stuff because it's too many folds for a large
the wear
game.
and tear, which most people probably don't even think about when they're opening it up.
Yeah.
Like, how many times have you seen a kid's book where they read it so many times the page start falling out? It's just because they would flip it back and forth and stuff. So interesting. So
and I told them like I need the dice big, I need the game pieces big, because if people are playing outside and I don't want the wind to blow it all away, so I need a little bit of weight on it.
Mm-hmm.
And so it took a couple like demos from different manufacturers until I found one which was perfect. And he speaks English too, so it made communicating even easier. And he took care of the whole process. He was able to like, I just ship it exactly where I needed to, and I don't got to worry about like the shipping. The one cost for the manufacturer shipping, and then he ships it.
So did they offer you any ideas to how to make it even better than what you originally thought? Or is it strictly from A to Z, it's all yours? They didn't, just kind of curious, because I'm sure like they talk to like certain like supplier, like businesses like yourself, you might have a vision one way, and not to change your vision, but to say, okay, we can make that happen, but you might think about maybe adding a little bit this to it to do that. Did they offer any value at all?
Yeah, no, nothing like that.
Perfect. So make sure you guys know what you're doing, because otherwise I
have to keep asking him to like I'm like, yo, are you able to do this? Are you able to do that?
Yeah.
For some of the things, because I'm like, oh wait, I'm like, are you able to like print on the inside of the box, like all in the inside too? So I was like, so I can use that space instead of that like empty white space. I can use that and put stuff on there.
Yeah, that's actually really good. So you should almost be like a consultant as well. You start a consulting service for those who want to create board games, man. Because I mean, that's something you should really look into, because I bet you there's going to be a lot of people that have no clue about how to start something from this. And hearing someone from yourself who's done it, and
it's all about just like jumping in and then you learn.
Yeah. And so is there any other expense that you noticed that you didn't anticipate? Obviously, you knew product costs were going to be there, and of course,
shipping. Yeah. The one I messed up one was when I started to do like Facebook ads for like to build up my email list, and then I made the mistake of doing Facebook ads for for countries not in this not North America. So I started targeting like Australia, UK.
I'm sure Thailand is a
South
big
Africa. Yeah, so I started like targeting all these countries. But I didn't realize the shipping cost from shipping it from the States or Canada to those countries is going to be like it's going to be a lot.
Yeah.
So I didn't think about that.
Well, and the funny story is that like I used to sell detailing products. I used to be a detailer, right, for cars. And I used to sell products for detailing products as well. And a 16-ounce bottle of, let's say it's a cleaner or a wax, to ship it to anywhere almost seemed like it doubled the cost. So let's say it was like $10 for, I wanted to sell the bottle for $10. By the end of the thing, if someone wanted to buy it, they're paying $20. And you're just like, wow.
Exactly.
So the mistakes, I guess we'll learn about the biggest mistake. That was one of them. Because obviously the listeners want to hear both the good and the bad. So, okay, let's talk about, last question here before we get into the industry part here. So for listeners who actually look up your company, Boardgains, you should see how much social media presence they actually have. Like when I started following you, Eric, I saw a bunch of, stories, reels, you name it, all talking about Boardgains. I'm like, Eric's doing it up. So how important is that to your business?
Really important, because still people don't even know about it. So I have to like keep pushing, keep doing kind of testing out different types of content, see what works. And then, I just have to, the more I post, the more I stay consistent with posting, the more traffic I get on the website, and it converts to sales.
Yeah.
So I always have to like make sure to like, okay, stay consistent with the posting.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. You need to keep your presence out there, especially for a product service based business. You got to have something there. Otherwise, people aren't going to know who you are, right? So, all right, we're going to talk
Yeah.
about the industry now. So, I guess out of all your research there, Eric, so what has been your opinion on the actual, I guess, the board games industry, and where do you see it's kind of going?
The board game industry is a big industry. Everyone's releasing all types of different types of board games. All like every day, there's new board games coming out. So it's board game industry is always going to be good. I'm in a unique position because I basically created a new category, fitness board games, because there was no fitness board games before. So yeah, because I created a new category, it's all like now I have to like educate all the consumers on what the fitness board game is compared to like just a regular board game.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's definitely something that you consider too, right? Because it is a very unique thing, like we talked about before. It's like it's not as simple. You're sitting down, and
Yeah, it's
playing
not
a
a sitting
game.
down play card game or
You
like
know,
a role play,
yeah,
moving dice, stuff like that.
yeah. It's literally physical activity to get your workouts in. So that is a very unique niche that
Yeah,
you got
it's a
right
boot
there.
camp in
So
a box.
boot camp in a one of the sales lines you could definitely use. So interesting. So
Yeah,
when you started
that's
this
the whole
whole
thing. It's called it's a boot camp in a box.
Love it. So when you first started this idea here, was there anything that when you wanted to start this that when you talked about this idea to, let's say, these manufacturers or anything like that, did they have any, or just in people in general, did they have any misconceptions of what it's actually going to be like? Like this is a kind of a cool idea, but
Manufacturers, they didn't really say much. They'll just develop it. They don't really like give any feedback or anything. Um, when playing with like most of the like when 2020 is when I play tested the game with all different types of people. I was literally hitting up all these random people on Instagram, all these like groups of people that work out together. I hit them up to play the game, to play test, to get feedback, and everyone loves it. So that's when I realized, okay, I know I'm onto something. And now I need to just get more feedback and stuff like that. And yeah, all the feedback I got was fun. Fun was the number one comment. Anyone I played the game with, it was fun, 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 and everyone loved it.
well, it makes me think though, because I just started thinking like my wife, Mrs. K, she runs a boot camp class at lunchtime at the hospital, right? So probably right now while we're recording, they're probably working out outside. And I was just thinking, you know what? Maybe I should just ask her, why don't you take the board games to the hospital? See what your class,
Yeah,
because it's not even a formal class.
they'll
It's
love
literally
it.
just her and her coworkers working out together. So why don't you just maybe
Yeah,
think about
that's
bringing
why I
this game?
developed the game for.
Yeah,
It's for
right.
instructors to use for the class. And the cool thing is, I had a corporate workout like a month ago with Poker Stars. So we did a board games workout, and half of these people are meeting for the first time. I was like, damn, that's crazy. They're meeting for the first time playing the game, and they're actually like they're engaging with each other, interacting with each other compared to like just follow like watching the instructor and then follow along behind them doing the exercise. Because now you're actually playing the game, engaging, connecting, talking.
Yeah.
That's the cool thing.
Well, no, that's what's really cool about it. It surprisingly brings people together. It's either one going to bring a lot of people who love exercise together, or it's going to really solidify those who don't like exercise and be like, well, at least we're suffering together. So I may not like it. I know it's
And it
good for
makes it
me.
fun for them. They like
Yeah.
it.
Well, yeah, especially if you got a good team as well, because this is almost like you can do this individually. And I'll tell people as well, like I actually use board games pretty much almost every day. And the way I have it set up is that
Nice.
so where I'm recording this is in my home office. So sometimes when I go downstairs, I actually put it right in the dining room, because anytime I go to the kitchen, I'm rolling the dice and doing an exercise, right? And you'll be surprised.
That's how you have to do it.
Yeah, and you'll be surprised how many times you're actually having to go to the kitchen when you work from home. So another quick
Mm.
tip. So, it's a lot of fun doing it. Although sometimes there's certain exercises you dread. So, you're calculating, okay, what exercise is next? I'm like, okay, all right, definitely don't want to do the 100 high knees. All right, let me see if I can roll past it or whatever. But I'm one of those things that whatever rolls on, I'm just going to do it. There's no way about it.
Yeah. And the funny thing is sometimes like you'll manifest the things you don't want to do because your body knows like, okay, you need to work on your core today, and then you will land on all the core exercises, all the ab exercises you're going to land on sometimes. It's weird how it works like that. So It's something with the dice. The dice, when you're holding the dice and you roll it, there's some type of energy that gets emitted.
Yeah.
And sometimes you're like, okay, my body knows I need to work on like my planks today, and then all of a sudden I'm landing on planks the whole game. I'm landing on planks.
I really don't want burpees today. 20 burpees. You gotta be kidding me.
Exactly. So, it happens like that.
Interesting.
I've seen it enough times. That's why I can make a comment like that, because I've seen it enough times happen, and I was like, yeah, there's some type of energy with a dice roll, like, and people manifesting things they don't want to do, and it shows up.
Yeah, exactly. Is there what's your least favorite exercise on this? I know we're not supposed to talk, but what's your least favorite exercise that you do, or do you love it all?
The least favorite would probably be the burpees.
Yeah.
Yeah, the burpees.
Burpees suck, people, just in case you don't know.
Yeah. The burpees is probably like, let me think what else. Yeah, it'd probably have to be the burpees.
Yeah, I guess because
it's the one where like you're about to be done and you're like, oh damn,
20 burpees. Well, yeah, I mean for those who do CrossFit, I'm sure they like burpees. But for the average though, people who are not part of the CrossFit community, yeah, burpees suck, right? So, but Mrs. K says
that's why I had to put the burpees.
Yeah, Mrs. K actually says that I have to do at least 30 burpees a day, right? Just for like, because where she works, she's like a physiotherapist, so sometimes she has a lot of like elderly geriatrics. Not to say that we're going to put an 80-year-old doing burpees, but just the ability to just try to be healthy.
Incline burpees.
Yeah, incline burpees or something like that. So, anyways, next question we got here. So you talked a little bit about your failure of, so if I can refresh my memory, your biggest success and biggest failure. I thought I remembered what your failure was.
The shipping.
Yes, the shipping, the Facebook ads on thing. Was there any other failure that you saw? But also, let's talk about also the successes as well. So, was the shipping thing really the biggest failure, or did you have anything else? But also, what's your biggest success?
Yeah, it was probably the failure was the shipping, building the email list with different countries. And I think another one was probably like not releasing this one first.
Oh, the home version.
If I released the home version first, then came out with the pro version, because I think a lot of people got scared off with the price in the beginning when I built my email list and then I sent them the first email to like, oh, get the Kickstarter. They're like, they got scared with the price, but I didn't have anything else to like compare the price to.
Right.
So I think, yeah. So now that's why I made the home version. So now like if people don't want to pay the premium price, they can go for the home version.
Yeah, and the funny thing is the premium price is not that crazy expensive. Like when I got it, you know, I when you gave me the choice, I'm like home versus pro, and maybe because like I said, maybe because of background as a trainer, and you know I like to work out a lot, so I'm like, got to be pro. I got to do pro, right? And and I looked at it because I think the home version has 13 exercises, and the pro
13 exercises,
and the pro has like 17 or 20 or something like that.
20.
Yeah. So I was like, yeah, I think I could do the pro. And like I said, it's very easy to use, and you should have a lot of fun with it. So, but yeah. So what about your biggest success then?
My biggest success would probably be getting into Dick's Sporting Goods. That's probably a big success, was getting into it. But it's also like a learning experience too. It's like I'm really good. Like, oh, I got into Dick's, but now it's not selling in Dick's, so I got to learn how to get the game to sell inside the store. I can get it. I got it on the shelf, so that was that was like a big moment. I got it on the shelf, but now it's how to get people to get it off the shelf.
Well, that brings up a really good point, because I think if you're a product company, you know, I think to get a relationship with, let's say, a big store, like a big retail store, like Dick's Sporting Goods and stuff like that, that's like the ultimate saying, okay, we're here. But then you brought up a good point. It's like, yeah. It's great, and I'm sure they're going to purchase. And I don't know how those arrangements go. Maybe this is a tip from the pro thing. So when you sign that agreement with Dick's, is it something that they're going to pre-buy it, or is it like, well, yeah, we're just going to give you? They pre-buy it, okay? And I assume that if they don't sell a certain amount, then they just either I don't know if they return it or trade it back. I mean, we don't have to get too specific with those kind of things.
Yeah, they're just trying to put on sales, and then if it doesn't sell, they're going to probably send it to like those places. I forget what it's called. Those where they
Simon stores,
sales places.
Yeah,
something like that. But like I forget what it's called.
Yeah, but either case, right? So it's not just landing that thing to get it in the store. You want to make sure the product will sell, right? Because otherwise, if a manufacturer, or if a store buys your product, doesn't, and you're getting revenue from that. But if it's not selling, then you might never hear from them again, right? So it's one thing getting it on a shop. Yeah, it's getting into a shop and getting to a national retail chain. That's great because then, hey, that's way more. But if it doesn't sell, it's not going to work. It's not going to go well. So interesting. So I forgot to ask in the beginning, how big is your team right now, and where are you based out of?
We're just one person, just me right now.
Solopreneur.
And we are based in Mississauga. Yeah, solopreneur. Sometimes I'll have like interns and stuff. Every now and then I'll have an intern, but right now it's just a solopreneur.
No, and that's great. I mean, and I see you have like some obvious. You probably have like services that that are handling all the various facets of your business, right? I know you're overseeing a lot of things, but do you have like other service providers that handle like whether it's the accounting or some of the other things that?
Well, I have an accountant. That
so you have a team.
That he does all the taxes and stuff, or like. But that's like outsourced accountant.
Yeah, and that's totally fine. I mean, I think that's what businesses have to understand is that they don't have to literally do everything yourself. Like Eric, there's only 24 hours in a day, so you're not juggling 50 things at once. Maybe you can be, but
there's a lot of softwares that do a lot of it too as well.
Yeah.
Like I have accounting software which tracks everything, so I can send that to the accountant so he can do the rest. And then like social media software to like organize and schedule everything. I used to outsource like blog posts and stuff like that, but now ChatGPT can do all that for me now, so I don't have to outsource getting blogs post done. But next is trying to find a video editor. I'm trying to find like a video editor, outsourcing of the video editor for some of my ideas.
Well, we'll talk afterwards. There was a guy. Yeah, we'll chat afterwards. There was a guy that I did use in the past that actually is pretty good. So I'll get you guys in. I can do the warm intro for what he can do. So, but that's what I find is a lot of things, because you don't want you to be focused. You want to be focused on your business, not in your business, right? You don't want to be doing everything. And that's always the challenge that a lot of owners have, because they can't afford to do certain things. So you have to start to be creative with certain things, right? Like if you can find a ChatGPT to do your copy for things, great. Right. If you know a family friend or something, or you have an intern to start with, and that's also something that's really good as well. So, and finally, where can people reach out to you? Where can they find you?
They can reach out to me via Instagram or email, info@boardgains.com, Instagram @boardgains.fit, or my personal Instagram, Gains by Eric.
Nice. So, all right, Eric, it was awesome to have you on the show. Thanks for coming on.
Thanks so much, Ken. We have a great day.
Hey, do you need an error-free website? Do you need transcription that's accurate and on time? Would you like to remove noise from your video or audio recording? Do you need a spokesperson for your business? If so, we can help. At Northway Capital Group, we are happy to announce that we are now providing website testing services, audio transcriptions, and audio cleanup, as well as spokesperson services. We would love to help you on your next project. Contact us for more information at northwaycapitalgroup@gmail.com.
For listening to the S.M.E Stories podcast, which is owned by Northway Capital Group. Please follow us on Instagram and Facebook at Northway Capital Group.